What's going on, everyone? This is Kevin Breeze here, and in this video we're going to be comparing the LG Stylo 4 to the iPhone XS Max. So without further ado, let's get started. So these two devices are both unlocked, which means that you can use them with any carrier. So right off the bat, that's a huge plus. Now this version of the LG Stylo 4 is the Amazon Prime exclusive edition, and it's available for $250. Now this version of the iPhone XS Max is the 64GB version, and this comes in at $1,100. So you could buy at least 4 LG Stylo 4s for the price of one iPhone XS Max. So it'll be interesting to see in this video if the iPhone XS Max is really that much better, or if it's even better at all than the LG Stylo 4. So like I said, both are unlocked, and you can use both of these on CDMA and GSM carriers. So in the United States, you can use these with, of course, any GSM carrier like AT&T or T-Mobile, and you can also use these with Sprint and Verizon, so that's a big bonus right there. The LG Stylo 4 features a 6.2-inch display, and the iPhone XS Max features a 6.5-inch display. So here are the two phones right up next to each other, of course, and they're actually about the same size as far as the full body goes. But you can see that there is less bezel on the iPhone XS Max, which is what allows it to basically have a larger display. So on the LG Stylo 4, there is no notch, and on the iPhone XS Max, there is a notch. So you'll have to decide on your own which configuration here you prefer, whether the notch bothers you or not, or if you like it more than having no notch. But that's that. And then you can see on the bottom too, there is more bezel on the LG Stylo 4 than the iPhone XS Max. And in addition to that, we have more of the swiping gesture on the iPhone XS Max, whereas on the LG Stylo 4, we have the more traditional Android navigation buttons. Now both devices feature an 18:9 display, which means that it's kind of a taller display than your traditional 16:9 display resolution. So that's a great thing in my opinion. That's something you're finding more and more in high-end devices. Now the LG Stylo 4 features a 1080p display, and the iPhone XS Max features a resolution higher than that, but it's a special resolution coming in at 1242 by 2688. And what that comes down to is that on the LG Stylo 4, we get a pixel per inch count of 390, and on the iPhone XS Max, we get a pixel per inch count of 458. So there is a higher density here with the pixels on the iPhone XS Max. But you can see, holding these two devices right up next to each other, both displays really do look great. I mean, I like both displays a lot. It's not like one has a bad display and the other has a good display. They both have awesome displays. So if you watch a lot of movies or you play a lot of games or anything like that where you'd want a good quality display on your phone, you're going to be very happy with both of these. Now up top here on the LG Stylo 4, we get a 5 megapixel camera, and on the iPhone XS Max, we get a 7 megapixel camera. On the LG Stylo 4, there is no wireless charging, and on the iPhone XS Max, you do get wireless charging. This version of the LG Stylo 4 comes in with 32GB of internal storage with the ability to expand that with a microSD card. And on the iPhone XS Max, you get 64GB of storage, so twice the amount of storage, but there is no microSD card slot. On the LG Stylo 4, you do get a fingerprint sensor on the back, and on the iPhone XS Max, there is no fingerprint sensor. But on the iPhone XS Max, you have Face ID, which is a great feature to have. You can unlock the LG Stylo 4 with your face, but it's nowhere as advanced as Face ID on the iPhone XS Max. On the backside here on the LG Stylo 4, we get a 13 megapixel camera, and on the iPhone XS Max, we get dual 12 megapixel cameras. And with the iPhone XS Max, you get portrait mode for front and back cameras, and on the LG Stylo 4, there is no portrait mode. On the LG Stylo 4, we get 3GB of RAM. Now keep in mind that's unique for the Amazon Prime exclusive edition, because on other editions like the Metro PCS version of this phone, you do get just 2GB of RAM. But if you buy the unlocked Amazon Prime exclusive edition of the LG Stylo 4, you do get 3GB of RAM. On the iPhone XS Max, you get 4GB of RAM. On the LG Stylo 4, you get a Qualcomm Snapdragon 450 processor, and on the iPhone XS Max, you get an Apple A12 Bionic processor. Video recording on the LG Stylo 4 caps out at 1080p at 30 frames per second, but on the iPhone XS Max, you can record video at 4K and 60 frames per second. The LG Stylo 4 features a 3,300 mAh battery, and the iPhone XS Max features a 3,179 milliamp hour battery. So you get a slightly larger battery with the LG Stylo 4. The LG Stylo 4 runs Android 8.0 Oreo, and the iPhone XS Max, at the time of recording this video, runs iOS 12. So as mentioned before, on the front sides of both these devices, we have the 6.2-inch display on the LG Stylo 4, the 6.5-inch display on the iPhone XS Max, then up top we have the front-facing cameras and the earpiece. Then taking a look at the left side here on both devices, on the LG Stylo 4, you get the volume rockers, and on the iPhone XS Max, you get the mute switch and you get the volume rockers. Then taking a look on the right side, on the LG Stylo 4, you get just the power button, and on the iPhone XS Max, you get the power button / Siri button, and you get the door for the SIM card. On the top of the LG Stylo 4, you get a noise-canceling microphone, and on the top of the iPhone XS Max, you get nothing. On the bottom of the LG Stylo 4, you get the stylus, you get the speaker, you get the USB Type-C port, you get the microphone, and the 3.5mm headphone jack. And on the iPhone XS Max, we have the speakers and we have the lightning port. So there is no stylus on the iPhone XS Max, of course, and there is no headphone jack. Now taking a look at the backside of these two devices, on the LG Stylo 4, we have that 13-megapixel camera, of course, like I mentioned before, and on the iPhone X, we have the dual 12-megapixel cameras. We also have the LED flash on both, and on the LG Stylo 4, we have the fingerprint sensor. We also have the logos for both brands, so LG and Apple. Alright, now that we've gone over the hardware of these two devices, let's do some real-world speed testing. So we're going to start up the default browsers on both devices. So that is Google Chrome on the LG Stylo 4, and on the iPhone XS Max, that's going to be Safari. So 1, 2, 3, go! And it was pretty quick, but it looks like the iPhone XS Max was first to start up the browser. Now let's start up yahoo.com on both of these devices. 1, 2, 3, go! It actually looks like the LG Stylo 4 was first to pull up yahoo.com, but the iPhone XS Max wasn't far behind it. Now this is also a good opportunity to kind of compare how much content shows up on these two displays here. So you can see that being on the same website here, we can see 3 articles on the iPhone XS Max, while on the LG Stylo 4, we can only see 2 articles. Let's now start up Engadget.com on both of these devices, so 1, 2, 3, go! And it was like near instant on the iPhone XS Max, which is pretty awesome, and a little bit slower on the LG Stylo 4. But on both devices, it was very quick. Let's go to this article on both devices. 1, 2, 3, go! And it looks like it was a little bit quicker on the iPhone XS Max than it was on the LG Stylo 4. And finally, let's pull up the camera on both of these devices. So 1, 2, 3, go! And it looks like the iPhone XS Max is quicker at starting the camera. So of course, there are so many more things that I can test here with these two devices. So if you'd like me to make a sequel to this video, then let me know. But I know a lot of people have been asking how the LG Stylo 4 compares to Apple's most expensive, or one of their most expensive offerings here, the iPhone XS Max. So in general, I think the LG Stylo 4, of course, is a lower end device in comparison to the iPhone XS Max. They're not even advertised as being competitors, but the LG Stylo 4 is still very impressive, and I could definitely see myself using the Stylo 4 on a daily basis, similar to the way that I use the iPhone XS Max as my daily driver. So all in all, I think they're both great devices, and if you're interested in buying either of these, then take a look at the link in the video description. But thanks again for watching. This is Kevin Breeze here. If you enjoyed this video, then make sure to subscribe. Also check out my other videos on my channel, as I do smartphone videos mainly, but also I do other tech sometimes. But I'm definitely trying to emphasize more on smartphones nowadays. So definitely take a look on the channel for those videos. And again, if you want to buy either of these phones, take a look at the link in the video description. But with all that said, thank you so much for watching. This is Kevin Breeze here, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, everybody. Bye.